I was reeling this in, and this guy took that bait right there. It's a nice little spotted bass. There we go. Well, I'll tell you, you can swim a hula grub, kind of like a swim jig, and they'll bite it. It's Dalton, everybody. I'm going to give you guys a fishing report today. Right now, I'm going to do a little more fishing, and I'm just going to sit down and give you guys kind of report as I see it out here right now, just kind of the way things are going. The way I found this fish is I went over the top of this area right here about 15-20 feet with my 2D sonar. I noticed this dip and there was a bunch of fish in there, and the challenge has been, you know, getting it cast right in there, and when I do, I get bites. So of course, one of the baits you're going to want to have is a hula grub. All right, let me put together a little bit of a fishing report here for you. First of all, the water conditions. They are letting some water out. I didn't check this morning, but lake levels are heading towards 60%, getting pretty close to that. The water clarity still good. Water temperatures as of right now, which is about 10 o'clock in the morning, is right around 73 degrees, 72, 73. I think it was 72 when I got on the water this morning. So it is starting to cool off a little bit, not a whole lot, but we are definitely getting into more of that fall time of year. It's pretty much been, as far as the bite, I have caught some shallow, but most of the fish that I've caught out here through the summer, going into fall, has been somewhere around that 20-foot range. The bait just seems to be hovering more around that than getting way up shallow. I'm still not seeing, in fact today I've not seen one white bass boil at all. And the few that I do see, as I've said before, typically they're gone by the time I get to them. Let me give you some bait recommendations going into this time of year. A lot of guys like to throw a darter head with a little 4.5-inch worm. This is a little worm that I pour here, but you can use a robo worm. They work pretty good. Sometimes I'll take a ball head jig like this one. This is an owner ball head jig. I'll put a little speed craw on there, and if they're out deep, I'll put it on about 1/4 ounce and just kind of hop it off the bottom. Crankbaits, if you're around rocky areas, you find an area with a lot of rocks, crankbaits can be very effective. We may be coming up on a time where a jerkbait's going to work really good, so keep an eye on that. I threw it this morning. I didn't get any bites on it. One of the things you definitely want to keep tied on, and you can get it down to some of those deeper bass, is make sure you have a drop shot tied on. This one right here is just that little tiny fluke that I've been using all summer, and I've caught quite a few fish with that. Underspins. Underspins can be really good this time of year. This is, I don't remember who makes this underspin, but I put one of my little white swim baits that I make on there and just kind of swim that thing around. Another thing, if you get around the bluffs, some type of a Texas rig option. This is just a Texas rig Senko right here, and I like to throw that down deep in those rocks so I don't get all hung up. I got it. I got him. Well, there's a little largemouth shallow. Got him on just a Texas rig worm, just fishing it around those bluffs. Little bitty largemouth bass. Some of these largemouth out here are going to be shallow, and I'm going to fish shallow for a while today. Just throwing just a Texas rig worm, bluff walls. One of my favorite ways to throw a worm. And then of course, some type of a jig setup. This is a hula grub on a 1/4 ounce head with a little weed guard on it. I've went over this on another video here recently. I'm catching quite a few fish on this hula grub. This is just a green pumpkin. I just color those legs with chartreuse. I like that slow fall. The setup I've been using is this little 6'8" rod, medium action, with 12-pound test fluorocarbon. That has been the key for me. 1/4 ounce, 12-pound test. I threw one on a spinning rod earlier today on lighter line. Didn't get a bite. Went back to this, started getting bites again. The one thing I can tell you, I'm not catching the numbers of fish that I'm used to. Sometimes I'll come out here and catch 4 or 5. Sometimes I'll get a dozen. Sometimes 8 or 9 bites, whatever it is. I'm not getting the same amount of fish that I'm used to in the summer, but I am coming out here and catching fish, and it's you know, it's been a lot of fun. I would say look for some of these coves, some of these cuts in the lake, and on the corners of them is out about 20 feet. I get them that way. Look for the bluff walls, come out about 20 feet. A lot of them are going to be out there, and there may be a time they're going to push up shallow. A lot of them, not just a few of them, but a lot of them may push up shallow. That's going to be awesome. That's where your crankbaits are going to come in, your underspins, maybe a little spinner bait, even a little chatterbait. Something that moves relatively quick, because they're moving pretty quick. And then when things slow down a little bit, you don't get any wind, that's when I go with my plastic baits and I just fish real slow. Well, that's kind of the report that I've put together. I'm going to do some more fishing today, but I wanted to sit down, give you guys a report, let you know what was going on out here. I hope you enjoyed this report. I appreciate all of you. I'm going to be spending a lot of my time out here this winter, but I'm going to take one more trip to Santa Margarita. I'll tell you more about this later, but I was given a setup, a really nice pitching and flipping setup with a nice rod and reel, and that's about a 7'6" rod. I want to go out there and flip around that grass and see what I can do, and if it works out, I'll put a video together. Well, thank you for tuning in again. I will talk to you guys next time.